Good morning. Welcome to the Brew. I'm Lex, and today is Friday. And guess what? Paulina Likos is with us, and we are going to tackle a few things today. ChatGPT announces a new search engine. Alphabet or Google announces plans to increase AI spending, and the NBA's new TV rights deal. Let's get into it right after this.
Upgrade needed. Upgrade needed.
You know what? When you let me collaborate on our shared playlist,
yes,
then we could upgrade. You haven't hit the button yet.
Yeah, I did hit the button. You haven't dropped the song.
No, I try.
Are we speaking in metaphor? Are we secretly saying?
I'm not gaslighting it. I went in there. I tried to put something in there. No ability to put something in there.
All right.
You got to hit the little person in Spotify with the little plus to collaborate. All right. Sorry, Paulina. How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
We're fighting. We're having a fight. Good to see you. Good to see you. So let's get right to it. ChatGPT announces a new search engine, which I kind of tried to do before we came on here. So tell us a little about what's going on there.
Yeah, so OpenAI, of course, we know it's backed by Microsoft. They announced this prototype of this new search engine called ChatGPT. And they announced this to compete directly with Google search. So right now, Google has 90+% of the global market share of search. But you have some of these competitors like ChatGPT that have, and Bing, for example, which is from Microsoft, that have been trying to eat away at that market share, but Google is dominant. But this search GPT is what it does essentially is it generates quick responses with relevant web sources, and it allows users to do follow-up questions that can offer additional context. Right now, it's not widely available. Only a small group can use it to accumulate some feedback. But this is, just another example of how companies like OpenAI and Microsoft are trying to get a portion of that search business, because Microsoft has said in the past, even if they get 2% of that market share or 1%, whatever it was, it's going to be worth, billions. So it could be worth it, but Google right now is the dominant player here still.
Yeah. So quick question. Do you have to pay for this? I was kind of messing around. It looks like there's pricing plans. I'm assuming there's a free version, right?
So you might be referring to ChatGPT, because right now ChatGPT is not available. Only 10,000 people are using it to gather feedback. But yes, there are different versions of ChatGPT. Some you can pay for to get more, I guess, responses that are using the newest technology.
Okay. You know what's funny, Mal? I did the search on Google for Search GPT, which seems like they wouldn't give me a good result because they're competitors. But I got in there, and then I didn't know there's only 10,000 of Google's closest friends. I'm not one of them, apparently.
Yeah, so I think the question is, what's the difference between ChatGPT and a search? And so search does use AI. So let's just be clear on that if no one's clear on that. I think the big talk on town, and it's rumored that OpenAI is talking to Broadcom to start to create their own chips outside of NVIDIA. So there's a huge bottleneck happening right now. So that would mean that would be, a major supercharge to their journey towards AGI, artificial general intelligence. And what is that? AGI, just in case you don't, it's just, comparative intelligence to human beings. So that will be interesting to watch. They even hired some Google team guys, which is the nice bridge to that conversation, who used to work on the tensor processing units, and they handle, some of those language models. And so I think there's, cat's out of the bag. it's no surprise that, additional funding is going to bulking up AI. But I think one thing to see is behind, where are the chips coming from? Also, OpenAI is looking to invest, bring in some outside investors to start building data centers. And that ties into your whole bag of your forte of some of these convertible commercial real estate situations of these maturity dates coming due pretty soon, that they might be convertible into some of those data centers. And so if that market drops, they'll be able to pick those up for, cents a dollar, which will be interesting to watch.
Okay. But you said, Paulina, if I'm not mistaken, Google owns 90% of search.
Yeah, so when you think about it, the whole market share of search, right? Who is dominant in that space? It's
Right.
Google. I mean, we even have the term, let's Google it. They
Sure.
have the mind share. They're like the first mover. So also, Apple, they have it as, the default search engine, I believe. Yeah, it's Apple, right? Yeah. So there are so many advantages that Google has, which makes it the dominant player in search. So yeah, they have 90+% of the global market share in search. And this is really important for Google because search is the main driver of their revenues. So that's where they get a majority of their advertising dollars from. And so it's really important for Google to maintain dominance in this area. And I was doing some research on this, and I wrote an article on it. And the consensus on Wall Street is that Google is going to maintain its leadership in search. And while there might be some volatility in the short term with competitors like Search GPT, over time, Google is still going to maintain its dominance.
Okay, which leads us to topic two. Alphabet's announced plans to increase AI spending for Q2, right?
Yes.
And that didn't go over as well as everyone would expect. Is that accurate as well?
Yeah, that's accurate. When Alphabet reported their earnings last week, their second quarter earnings, they announced that they're increasing their AI investments. So just to add some context, they spent $13.2 billion in the second quarter, and that was a 90% year-over-year increase. Last quarter, they spent $12 billion. So this is kind of like invest or die for the big techs. If they don't invest, then they're not going to be able to compete in this AI race. So it's really imperative for these mega caps to invest. And it's actually paying off, this investment, at least so far, because to Molly's point, they're incorporating these AI overviews on search. So now when you go on Google and you type in a question, you see this automated response. That's AI. That's AI that's generating those quick responses. But there are valid concerns that with these massive investments, how is that going to impact margins? And how long will it take for investors to see a return on those billions upon billions of dollars of investment? So that AI monetization question is a real thing here.
Okay. Go ahead. Sorry, Mel. Go ahead. Sorry.
Should we CT it just a little bit?
Of course. I mean, really, you. I know you're. You got a lot of energy today. Everything's flowing here. I get it.
I know.
Go.
Okay, so one thing to keep in mind with ChatGPT, I really like Elon Musk's perspective. However you feel about him, but he does have a gripe that when we're building artificial intelligence, one, to make sure we're always going to stay in control of it, if that's a possibility. I'm not sure once AGI comes online, but that there's thoughts that ChatGPT, Elon Musk is about creating a very truthful artificial intelligence, and not so. As far as accuracy and factuality go, is rolling some of these components out, are they being politically correct, or are they being truthful? Do those two coincide anywhere? I'm not sure. So keep in mind how these things are being built, so we always zoom out and have a big picture on where we're taking the human race. It's important to keep an eye on that. And how do you keep an eye on that? You look at who's building it. So who you can do research on the developers, the CEOs, et cetera, and see what their philosophies are. So just keep an eye on that.
Okay, Mal. Well, thank you for that, Miss CT.
All right.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, I'm going to throw, incidentally, I'm going to throw Google. I call it Google still. I can't call it Alphabet. It's a dumb name.
Well, Alphabet, is the parent company.
I know.
Plus, I grew up with the soup. It's just,
we were the specialists in Google way back when. It's Google to me, right? I'm adding it to the watch list. Let's put it that way. There might be an opportunity there. Okay, moving along to something I like, sports. NBA. This is a $76 billion deal, TV rights deal. Tell us about this one. This is interesting.
Yes, so this is a major deal in the world of sports. So the NBA, they signed a $76 billion TV deal with Disney, NBC, and Amazon starting in 2025. So that means they're leaving Warner Brothers Discovery's TNT. And that's the first time since they haven't been on the network since the 1980s. So there was a lot of shakeup in the world of media because Warner Brothers Discovery had actually, so there was a lot of debate going back and forth, a lot of offers being thrown around from Amazon and Warner Brothers Discovery. And essentially Warner, they matched Amazon's deal. Whoops. Sorry about that.
I'll call you later. I will call you later.
Yeah. Okay. So Warner Brothers matched Amazon's deal. But what happened was so the NBA decided to go with Amazon instead. So they pushed Warner Brothers to the side, and now Warner Brothers is trying to take legal action against the NBA. So there's a little bit of drama here. And so this is obviously a huge deal because there's a lot of, streaming trying to get in, sports are trying to get into streaming. And for Amazon, this means that they offer more value to the Prime members who are sports fans. Obviously, this is a huge blow to Warner Brothers.
Because
so Warner Brothers, since they don't have this anymore, they're going to lose a lot of distribution fees from cable providers and distributors. So that's some context there.
So I've heard on the streets that Warner Brothers is pivoting to badminton, or is that not true?
Very popular in my neck of the woods. Just saying.
Right. Okay. Beer pong? They're
beer pong.
Beer pong.
So I mean, I'm just kind of reading up a little bit on this now. Apparently, the gripe with TNT, was it TNT? Yeah, with Warner is that it was the games were hard to find on TV. That was one of the gripes. So, I mean, you go like this, you take the little remote, go NBA game, and it comes up after the second time. It always comes up. It takes 2 times, and find it. But people complain about that. So that was one of the big gripes, believe it or not, from viewers, was that, which I don't see as a big gripe. But there must be something more here that I'm missing. Money. It's all about money.
It's all about money. Discovery. Yeah. They're saying that they want to take the NBA to court now because they're going to be losing around $600 million annually. So it's all about money at the end of the day.
So this is $76 billion is a lot of money, right? This is a big deal.
Yeah.
When does this start, Paulina? Did you say that or I missed it?
It's going to start in 2025. So next year. It's fast approaching.
Okay. Any thoughts on how TNT responds to this? Besides the lawsuit, is there any other recourse for them?
I'm not sure what else they can do besides this. I think the NBA has made their decision. I think they might have some foresight that the audience is moving towards streaming, as there is a lot of cord cutting happening with cable. So I think they're happy with their decision ultimately.
Okay, all right, Ma. Hi. Do you watch the NBA? I got to be honest, I really don't watch the NBA a lot. I like sports. I said it earlier. I like college basketball, but I'm not sure I'm an NBA guy. I don't know if I'd like it.
My family used to be big Lakers fan, but I'm a good athlete, but that's one sport I can't do. I cannot. It's a joke.
Can you dribble with your left hand a little bit?
No, I mean, just just it's ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
I'm embarrassed. I will just say.
Kind of spazzy off the rim, clank it a good bit, like all over the place.
Yeah, give me another sport. I can do that.
Okay, surfing.
Yeah.
All right, great. Well, this is terrific. I'm gonna do a little bit more sleuthing here.
I'm interested to see how the if there's any layoffs over on Warner Brothers side, and how are they going to handle that increased expense?
Right.
And, how are they going to absorb that with their margins from Disney side? And
Right.
It'll be interesting to see.
Good. All right.
Yeah.
Good point, Paulina. I like that one. That was a good one.
Indeed. All right, ladies, we got to run. Good to see you, Paulina, as always. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Love Fridays, because Fridays mean weekends, and weekends and I get along really well.
Great.
So have a great one. Stay cool, because I know it's hot out there. So
Thanks.
all
Thanks,
right.
guys. Great
Bye,
seeing you.
Mal.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.